Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic on a run of just incredible puzzles. The last couple of weeks have been extraordinary, and I'm hoping we'll continue that sequence today with a Fog of War puzzle. Probably my favourite of the new sort of innovations in the world of Sudoku. It's called Foggy Banren, and it's by Darth Paradox. Now, I think Darth Paradox is a very difficult setter as a rule. I forgot. You know what I've forgotten to do before I turned on the webcam? I do sometimes like to have a look on Logic Masters Germany to A, see if the puzzle is there, and B, see how difficult it is, and I forgot to do that. So this could be monstrously hard, or it might be fine. It's just the name Darth Paradox that worries me. It maybe use the video length as a guide for at least how difficult I've found it. I have read the rules before I turned on the webcam though. And we have got Schrödinger cells going on today. So that's going to be cells where we have to put 2 digits into the cell. So it's simultaneously alive and dead. Anyway, I'll read the rules in a moment or two's time. A few things to mention before we kick off today. It probably won't have happened by the time this video is live, but it could have happened. Our new app, Very Approachable Sudoku, is about to hit the app stores. So we'll announce it on Twitter as soon as we know more, but it is really imminent and it could be today. So you can follow us on Twitter on @CrypticCracking if you're interested in all of the up-to-date Sudoku news. Other than that, over on Patreon, of course, we've got Skojo, Jojo, and Jobo's magnificent Sudoku hunt. Let me show you that. Which the closing date for that competition is on the 20th. So we're still about a week away. There's still plenty of time if you haven't even started the puzzles yet to finish and be in with a chance of winning the competition. And the other thing I need to mention is, of course, birthdays. Let's start with Eleni. Eleni, I'm sorry, I missed your birthday yesterday. I think you turned 25. And I know this because your friend, I think it's Demetris, over in Greece, wrote to us, told us you were spending your holiday in Cyprus, which I've no doubt would be good. And I know the two of you met about a year ago in Luxembourg. I hope I'm getting all this right. But anyway, I hope that you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today, Eleni, and I hope you get chocolate cake as well. Cyprus, that sounds like you can get some good chocolate cake in Cyprus. Now I've written another note here. Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, Demetrius, I hope you're okay with the fires. I've read in the newspaper this morning there have been some awful wildfires in Greece, so I hope you're not affected by that. And you and yours are obviously safe and well. But anyway, Eleni, many happy returns. Next, Mauricio, you've turned the big 3-0 today, and I know this because your wife Alyssa wrote to us. So Mauricio, I hope that you've had a brilliant 30th birthday with cake, of course. And then finally, to Tatiana, who I think goes under the name Tati, your boyfriend Stephen wrote to us and said that you might appreciate a shout out. And the two of you apparently watch Cracking the Cryptic every night before you go to bed. So thank you both for watching. Now, the thing I cannot approve of, Tati, is that Stephen told me that you were looking for soy milk custard cake rather than chocolate cake today. I just can't get behind that. I'm so sorry. I mean, soy milk, well, that's not great, but custard cake? No. What's going on? Anyway, with that quite revolting thought, let's move on to Foggy Banren by Darth Paradox and have a look at the rules of the puzzle. We have got place the digits 0 to 9 once each in every row, column and 3x3 box. Now, immediately that should give us cause for alarm because obviously that's 10 different values, 0 to 9, and we've only got 9 different cells in the Sudoku. So how is this achieved? Well, one cell in each row, column and box is an S cell containing 2 digits. The value of an S cell is the sum of its digits, and no 2 S cells contain the same pair of digits. S cells do not clear fog. Right. Okay, so you can see this grid is covered in fog. Now, the way Fog of War Sudoku works is, let's say we got this digit, and let's say it was not an S cell, and we wrote the digit in, it would clear the fog from all of the surrounding cells. Now, that you may say, well, doesn't that give you the opportunity to cheat? Well, yes, you could. You could cheat. You could just write the digits 1 to 9 into all the cells, and some of them would get revealed. But that's not how the constructor intends us to solve the puzzle. The idea is that we use the sort of gaps in the fog to deduce things, and we solve the puzzle sort of gradually. And yeah, it really is. It's a lovely, lovely innovation. So do it that way. Don't cheat. Now, the next part of the rules, it says Renban loops contain a set of consecutive values in any order. Each loop is a different coloured thick line and does not cross or intersect itself. So let's draw a line in the grid. So we've got colours that I could use green. I can't see any green in the grid. So let's say that this was a loop in the grid. Then the values on this would be consecutive. So ignoring S cells for a moment, these would either be 1 to 8 or 2 to 9 in order to be a consecutive sequence. That's how Renbans might work. So let's do a smaller loop. I'll use small numbers so we don't get this wrong. And let's ignore S cells. So imagine we were, oh, there's zeros as well. Let's imagine we worked out there was a 0 on this loop. Then we would know that to be a consecutive sequence, it would have to be 0, 1, 2, 3. But the 1, 2, and the 3 can be in any order. So we don't. It's not like we have to go 0, 1, 2, 3 or anything like that. We could have something like this. That would, in theory, be valid. Right, the next part of the rules, it says the value in a circle, yeah, we've got a circle, is equal to the sum of the values along the attached arrow. So it's just normal arrow rules. Each arrow is a different colour of thin line and does not branch. Oh, I see. Right, so what we've got here is a blue thin line and a yellow thin line. So under the fog, there's going to have to be blue arrow circles and yellow arrow circles somewhere. The values surrounding an X sum to 10. So that looks like it's there, doesn't it? So that looks like it's these two squares have to have values summing to 10. Now we're going to have to be careful here, because imagine this was an S cell. Then you could get all sorts of ridiculous concoctions going on. You could have like a 4, 5 and a 1, because 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So we're going to have to be very careful with X's. The values surrounding a V sum to 5. So imagine you had a domino here with a V in the middle of it. Those would have to sum to 5. So they would either be, well, no, including S cells, they could be just about anything. And a cell with a grey square contains an even value. And I can't see any of those in the fog. So imagine this square had a grey cell. Once we revealed it, perhaps we solved this cell and revealed this was grey. Then that would contain an even digit. Oh, no, that's wrong. That would contain an even value. So it could be an S cell summing to an even value. So imagine it contains 7 and 9 adding to 16. Then it would be, would have an even value, even though it only contained odd digits. So it's incredibly confusing. There is going to be all sorts of opportunities for errors, I fear. Do have a go, though. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I'm going to get straight into it by extending some of these lines where I can see that the lines are extending. The red line is going there. And it looks like there is a purple line, which looks like it's one of the thick lines, doesn't it? One of the Renban loop lines. So that's sort of crossing that boundary. It's crossing that boundary. Renban, let me just read this again. Each arrow is a different colour of thin line and does not branch. And the Renban loops are, each loop is a different colour of thick line and does not cross or intersect itself. Yeah, so I think, Well, I mean, the only thing that could possibly be constraining here is that this pink line is obviously dramatically large. Now, how big is it? Is a question we should probably ask, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is actually not the number I was hoping to get there. Because what I was wondering is whether or not, imagine this purple line was so long that it had to have every conceivable digit on it. And when I say conceivable digit, I mean imagine if it had to include all of the possible Schrödinger digits on it as well. When I say Schrödinger digits, but like big numbers. So a number like putting a 9 and an 8. So imagine this was a 9 and an 8. There would then be a 17 value on the Renban. And that would be the biggest value you could possibly have. But the problem with this puzzle is that there is a 0. So that I think there are 18 different values. So we're going to have to work out, well, right, no. Okay. We are on the right track, because I can't, this is already brilliant, actually. It's very weird, but it's brilliant. Okay, so, because what I was thinking when I was doing my count of the minimum size of the loop I could draw that connected all of the purple squares, I drew that. Well, I mean, I could do that, but I think, wouldn't we see where this pink line sort of travels? I should see it in the corner of this square. If the loop just went directly like that, I should see it, and I don't. So what I'm now, oh, hang on, I can't even delete it. So the question is, does that mean that now the minimum length is 18? Let's do another count. So 1, 2. I could go to this square, but then I can't go directly to that square. So I'd have to do a sort of rinky-dink. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to get much more complicated, because 1, 2... You know, I could do something like that now, couldn't I? But the point is, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take at least 3 more cells to get from here to here, because I can't only take 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be a possible way of doing it, and that would be the least number of cells I could take. So I've got 7 on that route, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But then I have to connect the ends, so 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we're going to get to 18, aren't we? 16, 17, 18. Perfect. Right. So therefore, every single value has to be on the purple line, which means that the purple line has to contain an absolute multitude of Schrödinger cells, because how could you achieve a value of 10? The only way is with a Schrödinger cell, and a value of 11. The only way is with a Schrödinger cell. So 10, 11, 12, 30. So 10, 11, 12. Well, there's going to be 8, aren't there? Because that's how many numbers there are from 10 to 17. So 8 of the Schrödinger cells. 8 of the Schrödinger cells are on the loop. But there are 9 Schrödinger cells. But there are 9 Schrödinger cells. Yes, I see. Oh, this is right. I do see. I'm beginning to dimly understand what Darth Paradox. This is so. It's brilliant, actually. It's brilliant, is what it is, because I think. How do I? Okay, in order to join this to this in 3 cells, how do I not take that? 1, 2. There's no way. There is no way to do it without taking this square, because I would have to take at least 4 cells, and I haven't got 4 cells to play with. I have to be efficient. So this is on the loop. I don't really know how to... But my thought about that is, the loop is not going in to box 7 at all. So the Schrödinger cell, I can see what this is doing. The Schrödinger cell that is not on the Renban is in box 7, but where is it in box 7? Well, because this is right, we're going to have to be very clear about this. I know that the 8 Schrödinger cells that inhabit all of these boxes have to account for the values on the Renban of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. They have to. So once this is on the loop, and I think it is, this is a double-digit number on the loop. Because, oh, is that right though? I think it's right. I'm changing my... Oh no, I might be changing my mind now. I thought what was going to happen is that was going to be on the loop, and that was going to force... Well, not only that was on the loop, but that was Schrödingered on the loop. But that might be wrong. Because why couldn't I do that? No, no. No, that... Yeah, okay, it is, I think, impossible. Well... See, if I took that square... That's too many. I've got to connect this to this in one move. So I cannot go into this square. This square is simply out of bounds. Yeah, okay. Now I think I am right, but I think I was right for the wrong reason. So my impression was that this was going to be the Schrödinger cell. Well, and I think it turns out that it is. But I don't think I'd fully joined up the logic with my first thought on this. But I think I now am able to do it. So the point is that because we can't go through this junction. That's impossible. We have to take this square. And I've got one cell to get from here, from row 5 column 2 to row 6 column 6. So you can see, to do that I will have to take one of these 2 squares, and to get from row 6 column 6 to row 7 column 5 I will have to take one of these 2 squares, and that will create a segment from here to here, if you like, that is 7 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 here and 1 here, and that's the most I was allowed when I did my count. So I can't take this square, I can't take this square, and that forces this. And that means that because I need a Schrödinger cell from this box in order to account for one of my values, because I take the Renban never enters box 7, this is Schrödingered. Let's have a colour for that, let's have green. And therefore this is Schrödingered. And the reason this is Schrödingered is because I know that the value this must take must be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 or 16 now. It can't be 17, because if it was 17 this would be higher, and I can't create an 18 cell. Right, so we're on the right track. I'm sure we're on the right track. But how on earth are we actually going to get any digits in this puzzle? That does not feel very easy, does it? I mean, how am I going to get any digits? What am I meant to do now? Do I know? Ah, yeah, okay. So I know that to connect this and this, I had to be efficient. So now this square must be Schrodingered, because that is the only instance of the Renban loop, the big thick Renban loop in box 3, and I know I need a Schrodinger cell on the loop in every box apart from this one. So this is Schrodingered. So there is a Schrodinger cell. Yeah. Yeah, there's a Schrodinger cell. Does it have to be in one of those two? Because how do I'm here and here. Yes. Okay, here is quite an interesting point. So I allowed myself, in order to keep the pink line down to 18 cells, I said I could connect row 5 column 2 to row 1 column 5 using 3 different cells only. Now you can see, if you look carefully, if I just highlight those 2 cells for a moment in yellow, to connect these within 3 cells of one another, I'm going to have 1 digit in row 2, 1 digit in row 3, and 1 digit in row 4. I will have to traverse each of those rows, and I will have to do it efficiently. In other words, I can't I can't do it by going there and then starting to move, because I'd take 4 cells to do that. So that's nearly, that's annoying. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? But I could still do that. Oh, this is tricky. So I think one of these 2 is the next position. One of these 2. Oh no, hang on. No, now I'm joining them up the wrong way. Sorry, I'm now trying to join row 5 column 2 to row 1 column 5, and that's total nonsense. No. Bobbins. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm confusing myself here. But actually, it was that one we were joining to there. So it's this one I meant to join to here. And I don't need 3 different... but I could do it... I'll do it differently then. I'll say I need 1 from each of these columns. There we go. And that will work. So I need 1 from each column, which means one of these 2 squares is on the loop. Yeah, okay, well this is actually a little bit better, because from here I've got to go into one of these 2 squares next in order to get from here to here in 3 cells. Neither of those squares could be a Schrodinger cell. So one of those 2 squares must be a Schrodinger cell, because there must be a Schrodinger cell on the loop in box 2. Okay, so can I do the same for those 2 then? I think this puzzle, I'm just looking in the wrong place all the time. So to join these 2 up in 3 cells, which is what I allowed myself, I've got to go, here I've got to traverse 3 rows of the grid. But that's good. That's good, because what that means is that the next cell on the loop from here is one of these two cells. And the reason I think that's good is that this cell, even though it's in box 8, could not be a Schrödinger cell. So, where is the Schrödinger cell in box 8 is my question. And unfortunately, I don't think I know. I thought I did for a moment, but I now don't think I do. I mean, it's clearly not in, it can't be in the same row or column as an existing Schrödinger cell, so it's not in those squares. That isn't on the loop, so that's no good. That isn't on the loop, because that's no good. And the reason this isn't on the loop is I couldn't get from here to there in one cell, which I would have to do. So it's one of those two. Oh, I don't really know. Let's get rid of the blue. So one of these two is on the loop. And is Schrödinger. So I see. So if that was Schrödinger, it would be fascinating. It would be fascinating, because that digit would have to have a value. It would have to have one of the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17 values, but it's on an X. So it would have to have a value of 10, and that would be a 0. So wow, this is very interesting, but I don't see how to do it. I know that this digit is, no, this value is quite large. It's at least 10. So this can't be a 0, because we can't, oh no, hang on, that's not even true. Oh, good grief, I've just had a horrible thought. If this had a value of 10, why couldn't that also have a value of 10 and that be a 0? Because let's say this was, I don't know, 4, 6. Why couldn't that be 1, 9? That's not the same digits in a cell. Oh, this is so confusing. There's so many possibilities that you have to sort of think through. Wow. Okay. Okay. So what on earth do I do now? Is there any way that I can actually pinpoint more of these Schrödinger cells? I've got 3, and I've limited 2 more. In this box, I don't know. I've got to traverse this square to this square, the 2 yellow squares, using just 3 columns. So the next position is in one of those 2. Now that, even if it was here, that couldn't be a Schrödinger cell because of this one. So these 2 can't be Schrödingered. But, so I think it's a similar type of thing. This or this is the Schrödinger in box 4. But we don't know that the loop ever goes to this square, but I think it could. Because it could do that. But it needn't, but it could. It either does, it goes into one of these 2, and obviously this one couldn't be the Schrödinger if it did go to that one and do that. That couldn't be Schrödinger. That would force this to be Schrödingered. So it's in one of those 2, but that's not good enough. Well, this is fascinating. It's fascinating, but I can't do it. And one of these 2 is... Yeah, so everything's really... Oh, maybe... Neither of those can be Schrödingered, and yet that is how this progresses, because we have to traverse these 3 rows within just three cells. So one in this row, one in this row, and one in this row, obviously. So one of these is Schrödingered. No, one of these is on the loop as the next step from here. But it could do that, I think, and hit that one within 3. But neither of these can be Schrödingered. And we're not spending any more time in box 6. So one of these is Schrödingered. Now, so how do we do this then? The only, unless there's a way. Oh, do I know that one of those is the next position on the loop? Because that would be, if that was true. Ah, yeah, maybe I can do it via box 9. That's so clever. Yes. Okay. So perhaps I need to keep thinking here. So if we look at row 7 and say, where is the join between this, the cell on the Renban that's in one of these and the cell on the Renban that's in one of these? Now I'm going to claim it has to be in one of those 2 squares. I can't get any further. Now, that tells us something very interesting, which is that the way that we traverse, the way that the Renban loop traverses box 9, it might only traverse it very slightly, but actually it's this square that must be on the loop. This is huge. Because I need a Schrödinger cell in box 9 on the loop. And I've got to go with one cell from row 8, one cell from row 7, one cell from row 6. And to connect these 2 dominoes together, I could use this cell or I could use this cell. But if I use this cell to do it, then I have to go there next. And there was never a Schrödinger cell. Well, or I have to do that and that. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, the only possible position on this loop in this box that could be A on the loop and B Schrödingered is that one, and therefore that is the position, which means this is not, which means this is, and that's going to give me a digit here. But I might be able to do better, I think, because look, I can start to place everything. That is now real Schrödinger. This is Schrödingered. Oh my goodness. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. There we go. That's all the Schrödinger cells placed. And that is our first digit. Because this is Schrödinger, it must have a value that's at least 10. That must be a 0. Boom. Isn't that clever? Ah, look. It's now, we now see it goes there, and we know it must go there. So we don't know which of these it takes. It takes one of them, but that's great. This one goes there. We know it goes there. So we can take this out now. There's a red arrow line. A red arrow line. I don't know, that feels like it's doing something. Let me just extend it slightly. It's going down there as well. It's going down there. But that 0 is knocking 0 off all of those squares. That is interesting, you know. That is interesting because I can't have too great a difference between these 2 cells. Because we've got 17 as our max, haven't we? Oh, no. No. Oh, this is beautiful. This is so clever, this puzzle. This already is one of the cleverest things, honestly. Right, here is an interesting thought. The pink line that I'm sort of starting to draw in the grid, not doing a brilliant job of it, but I'm starting to draw in the grid, that contains 8 Schrödinger cells, which have the values 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So the 17 that must be on the pink line is an 8-9 pair. In fact, the 16 must be a 7-9 pair. So I am not allowed to make this a 17 or a 16 because it would have the same composition as a cell that must be on the line somewhere. So the maximum size of that is 15 because 15 has 2 different ways of making it up. So say this was 7-8, then there could be a 6-9 on the line somewhere. There would be 2 Schrödinger cells adding to 15, but they wouldn't have the same composition. Now, the reason that interests me is that the minimum size of this we know is 11. The maximum size of this now is 15. So everything that's red that's on this line can't add up to more than 4. And yet these... yeah, that's it. That's it. So, because 0 is seeing these 3 squares, the minimum size those can be is 1 and 2. That's already 3. The minimum size of these is 0 here and 1 here. And now I've got 4 on the line, even if the line does that, which I now am going to contest it must do. Because I think what we're learning is that this square is an 11. I don't know how I'm going to show that. I have to use, it won't let me write 11 in, I'll write it like that. So that's an 11. I'm going to claim this is a 15, but I get these digits, so that's a 1, yeah, and that's right. That's a 0. Yeah, I didn't, oh my goodness me. Okay, something weird has just got revealed there. Okay. Oh, what's going on there? Is that an arrow end? I can't even really see it. I'm just going to get rid of my pencil marks again. Yes, it is, isn't it? That's an arrow, a blue arrow end in that square. Right. Wait, oh, hang on. No, have I made a mistake now? Because this... oh, no, it's fine, isn't it? Because this can be on the loop. So that can take values that are big. I was thinking I got myself into a pickle. Because again, I've got a Schrödinger cell. If that's a circle under there, it must be a circle, mustn't it? Well, can we... hang on. Because the blue arrow is going through this cell. Now, I can't see what's under there. But if that was a circle... no, that can't be a circle under there. Because if it was, it would have to be a Schrödinger cell, and it's not on the loop. And there are no Schrödinger cells left to find. So the arrow definitely goes into this square. At least it might. Well, no, it only goes into that square unless it goes into that square. No, it can't go into that square as well, because then I'd be adding 2 lots of massive digits to get to this square. So this, I think, is a blue circle. Let me try and put that in. I think that's a blue circle. But I think we're okay. Well, in fact, we are. We're perfect. We're perfect because how do we get? What's the minimum value that those squares could be? And I'm going to say it's 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now 0, 1, 2, and 3 add up to 6. So we're adding at least 6 to this 11. And we can't add more than that because that cannot be more than 17. So that is an 8, 9 Schrödinger cell. These are 0, 1, 2, 3. That is a 2 because it's not 0 and it is even. So that's a 2. Sorry, I realise I've stopped talking. Let me think about that. There's a lot going on in this puzzle. There is a lot going on. Now, hang on. If I know that is on... Yeah, so from here, I can't go there anymore. Because I know that I only get... Oh, no, I could never go there. Because I'm counting columns. Gosh, it's so confusing. Yeah, so I've got 3 columns to traverse. So the next cell from here to here is one of these 2, but it can't be there because then I'd have to jump to there straight away. So the way this moves is there, there, and then one of these 2 to close it up here. So, okay, so I've only got 2 cells of the pink line unidentified. This domino and this domino. And I know that's a 10. How am I going to... Well, okay, so it's not 1, 9 or 2, 8. So it's 3, 7 or 4, 6. I've got another line here. Well, okay, that must be a loop, mustn't it? Because both ends that we can see are going into row 6, column 1. So what does that mean? So if this was 0 and 1, that would be a 2. It can't be 0 and 3, because then this would have to be a 1 and a 2 simultaneously. So this is always a 2. Yeah, this is always a 2, because this domino is either 1, 3 or 0, 1. So that square's never 1. This is always 2. Cleared fog, but it didn't do anything. That's adding up to 15. I must be careful there, because I'm not saying there's a 1 and a 5 in there. In fact, I'm saying it's either a 6-9 pair or a 7-8 pair, and wherever the 15 is in the remaining greens is the opposite to this. Right, there's another arrow here that I can start to draw, but we can't see where it's going to go, can we? Although yeah, this is under a little bit of pressure, because that digit is at least a 4, because it sees 0, 1, 2 and 3 in its box, so that's at least a 4. That's going to be at least 0, 1, so that's 5. We've still got to close the arrow up, and this can't be more than 7, because the 8 and the 9 have been hypothecated to the Schrödinger cell. So that's a maximum of 7. 7, 6, 5. I think 5 would be very difficult, because you'd have to close this up with zeros, which you might be able to do. So how do we do this then? Well, we can't go up, can we? Because if we go up, this is at least a 5. So the arrow must go there. Oh, but that doesn't work. Oh no, hang on, no, the arrow could go there. Let's be very careful. Oh, this is tricky. In fact, maybe the arrow can't go. No, it could, because it could be 0, 1, 2, couldn't it? If it goes there, and it picks up 0, 1, 2 in box 5, that might work. Okay, that digit is not a 0, so that's at least a 1. Okay, no, hang on, I can do some Sudoku here. That's a 2. That's a 1. So now that's not a 1 anymore, that's at least a 2. So now I'm up to 6, but it might be possible to close... Well, that can't be a 5 anymore, because I've definitely got cells of at least 6 on the arrow. Yeah, okay, here is a way to think about this that is valid. That is a 7. Because what I can see is to connect this 4 to this 2. I could do it in a variety of ways. I could do it like that, or I could do it like that. But the point is, there will be a second arrow cell that's not this in this column, because this has to get to there. So within this column, there are 2 grey arrow cells, and the minimum they could have on them would be 0 and 1 in some order. So that means that the minimum this arrow can add up to is 7, and that is a 7. Oh, and right, okay, so that actually then revealed where the arrow went. So the arrow went there. This is a 0, 1 pair. That looks so incongruous with this 11 cage. Or not 11 cage, but 11 Schrodinger. That is a 2. That, oh, whoa, that's a 4. Right, what does that... You can't put... Yeah, this is lovely. Okay, you can't put 1 on this orange line, because this one sees that, and this 0, 1 sees those 2. So this line is 3, 4, and 5 to finish it off. And that's not 4. And those 2 squares are a little interesting, in the sense that they see 0, 1, and then they see the whole of the orange line, these 2 squares. So these have to be from 6, 7, 8, and 9. In fact, that might have been, that's a silly deduction, isn't it? Because, no, is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, oh, no, well, okay, I could have, no, I'm not sure. Ah, okay. How about Sudoku? I mean, it's outrageous being made to do Sudoku in these puzzles, but look at column 6. I've got 0, 1, 2. I've got 0, 1, 2. So these squares, which don't include a Schrodinger cell, are a 0, 1, 2 triple up there. And that is... Right. Okay, so if we look at this sextuplet, that sextuplet includes a quintuple. No, it includes, well, yes, it does include all of the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, doesn't it? Because this has got 3 or 4 in it. It's just also got 6 or 7, but it's got 3 or 4 in it. So this can't be a 3, 4 pair, because that will break that. So there must be a 5 in there. This is not a 5 now. And these squares form a 3, 4, 5 triple. So the rest of this column, yeah, the rest of this column is 6, 7, 8, and 9. And one of the other of 6, well, these definitely include 8 and 9, and one of 6 and 7, with the other being here. This is really confusing. It's really confusing. Okay, the 11 is not now 5, 6 or 2, 9. So what is it? It's either 3, 8 or 4, 7. This thing. I think actually I'm going to delete the ones because they are confusing me. So it's either 3, 8 or 4, 7. So if... actually, I don't think I know, do I? Okay, those 2 squares are a 5, 6... Oh, this is good. These 2 squares by Sudoku are a 5, 6 pair, looking at the 15 cage, which now can't contain a 6. So that contains a 7, 8 pair, which means this digit is not 7 or 8. Okay, there's a yellow thing. Is that... That's weird graphics. Hang on. Oh no, it's not weird graphics. I couldn't see. I thought that was the arrow end, but it's not. Okay, so this extends like that and whoa, and like that. Oh, that's very odd. Okay, so this is another of these funny arrows that's got two Schrödinger cells on it, like this one and like this one. So, but we haven't got... Well, what have we got left over now? We haven't used... We've not... The least value that one of these could be is 12, because we've used 11 and we've used 10. And the maximum is 16, because we've used 17. So the biggest number you could have on the rest of the arrow cells, which are at least those three, these cannot add up to more than 4. But they could be... You see, this is so strange, because they could be like 0, 1, 0. So there could be only one of difference, even though there are three different... There are 3 cells. Okay, but this digit is still small. It's 0, 1, 2, or 3. And the only way it can be 3 is if this is a 0, 1 pair. And then one of these would be 16, one of these would be 12. So, okay, so what else have we not used? Because I saw, it's probably Sudoku, isn't it? Because I'm actually seeing I've not done some Sudoku here. I mean, I'm going to have to put a 0, just a straight 0, on the loop somewhere. Oh, we could just go there. Okay, so that's silly. There's got to be an 8 up here by Sudoku. There's got to be a 7 over here by Sudoku. Okay, I'm getting stuck now. The thing I'm a bit perplexed about is that I don't feel like... we've... like I've left much behind in terms of what we've done so far. But I must have missed something, because I can't see what to do at all. I do know there's a 1 on this. I've got quite a few digits in column 3. I've got... Yeah, that digit is on there. That's a little interesting. Look, those 2 digits are the same as that. No, well, not those 2 digits. Whatever this is, let me give it a colour. Let's go blue. So this digit, because it can't repeat on its Renban, is there. It is in that square. And then by Sudoku, it's in that square. But oh, nearly. Well, actually, no. It's. I was wondering for a moment where blue's naked value 3 or 4, where you write 3 or 4 on the purple loop, because you've got to write it somewhere, and it can't be written in those squares because, well, you can't repeat that digit in this box. That would be one way of viewing it. It is already in this square, but not counting for itself. Here it's counting for 10 as part of a 3, 7 or a 4, 6 pair. Now it can't be here. It can't be there because that's Schrödingered. It can't be wherever the loop goes here because it's already appeared in the box. So I think it's got to be on the east side of the loop. Now, if it's on the east side of the loop, it's not there, whichever of these cells is on the loop. It's not Schrödingered. See, it's very close. I don't really even like that pencil mark, but it is in one of those two positions. Now, if it was here, it would be a 3. So why isn't it there? It would be a 3 because it would see 4. So if it was here, it would be there by Sudoku. And that might be possible. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? That felt like a really, really interesting thought. Okay. So... But that also, the problem with that thought is it's a bit terrifying in another way, because it has made me wonder whether or not that is something I need to be. I thought about it for 0 momentarily, like where was 0 on the loop as a naked digit, but it might be, 1 could go there. It might be that that's what we're meant to think about. Oh, 2. 2's appeared on the loop. Oh! That's it. Well, here's another way of thinking about this then. If 2 has appeared naked on the loop, that is not a 2. So 2 is on the arrow up here. This could be it. So if 2's on the arrow, so that's a minimum of 2. So it's a minimum of 2, 0, 0. So it's a minimum of 2 difference between whichever of these is the circle and whichever of these is the tip, assuming it doesn't go any further, because it could do, into the fog. But it's a minimum of 2 difference. The minimum number is 12, so the minimum of the circle is 14. So it's 4. See, there's still loads of possibilities. It could be 14, 15, or 16. That's not 7. Okay, let's take a different approach then. What we should do is let's just take a quick audit of the cells that are on the loop. There's loads of them. So though that collection of digits there, those red cells, have to be the digits 0 to 9. That's not useful. I'm sorry. Is there any way that anything is restricted there? And if so, how on earth? Oh, I don't know. Just let me have a moment, please, because I just want to actually think about this. So that digit. Oh, that's it. That's it. I've got it. Oh, I have got it. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. This is beautiful. Good grief. This is so beautiful. Guys, one of those tears in your eyes moments. Right. Okay, this is a lovely way to do it, actually. Because all we have to do is think about that square. And that does it. This is going to do my blue as well. Because this digit here, not the blue digit, the partner of the blue digit, which is 7 or 8, yeah? The point about that digit is that that digit is in this cell. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely in there because that's Schrödingered and it's a 7 and an 8 both at the same time. Now look, just now look at how many of the red cells are eliminated by a digit that inhabits this square and this square simultaneously. This one takes care of all of those. This one takes care of the remaining all of those. That is definitely not a 7 or an 8. So the only place the 7 and the 8 can go is there, and that is the same digit as the high digit that's in that cell, is there. Now, well, that's okay, so it is a 7. It's a 7. Sorry, I hadn't appreciated this. I was about to go off on a journey to look at this square, but I don't think we have to. This is a 7 because it's actually seeing an 8 in that square, which is a Schrödinger cell. So I think this is a 7, and that is our next digit. I mean, that's got to be right. And it is right. That is absolutely breathtaking. Isn't that brilliant? Now, the line has gone to here, so the line does that. And that square was never the red square. But given there's a 7 in here, we obviously know that this is a 4-7 pair because it added up to 11. So now this square is not 4. This is a 3-5. Whoopsie. This is a 3-5 pair, and that is a 4, which means, well, it means that's a 4. It means there's a 4 in here. So this is now 4 and 6, adding up to 10. But also, I think this digit is 4. Because didn't we work out that 4, or we worked out that blue on the purple Renban had to live in one of those two squares, and it cannot be in that one anymore. So it's in this one, and it's equal, I think, to 4. And that means, well, that means that's a 4 by Sudoku, because there's a 4 in this Schrödinger cell. It means there's a 4 in one of those two squares hidden in the fog look. Oh, we've revealed the circle of the yellow arrow. That's going to be worth thinking about. We've revealed a V. V can't be 1, 4 and can't involve a Schrödinger cell. So this is either 2, 3 or 0, 5. Let's not forget that option. Golly gosh, I mean, there's so many things I suspect we could do here. There's a 7 in there, so there's no 7 in there. This is a 6, 8, 9 triple. Where is... Oh, hang on, is there a 6 in there? Yes, there is. There's a 6 in here, so that's a 9, I think. And that's a 6, 9 pair, so that's an 8. That's a 7. These squares don't include 8 anymore. This is just absolutely remarkable. I mean, talk about a brilliant way to use fog in a puzzle. It's absolutely brilliant, this. Now, okay, surely I'm meant to highlight these squares now. 3, 5, and 8. Now, what can we get rid of? And the terrifying thing is, I feel like I'm going to say nothing. Oh, no, I can get rid of 8 from that one, because there is an 8 in this. I find the scanning very tricky with these puzzles. Because, you know, when you've got, normally this would not mean that this was a 7 and an 8 at the same time. We almost need an extra option. Sven, if you've got any interest, where you could divide the cell in half and put a massive 7 in the top left and a big 7 in the bottom right to distinguish it and give it some sort of different graphic to the 7, 8 pair in the middle. No, that's probably not a good thought. I was just thinking 5 has to be over there, for what that's worth. Let's make sure that we keep track, because the other thing we might have to think about here, for example, if that was a 5, that would knock 5 out of both of those other red squares. We've got to keep in mind that the red squares as a collection have to contain 10 digits, don't they? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and we had the original 2. Let's not forget that. So, Right, what should we look for now? I don't know. I don't know is the short answer. Again, I feel like we were doing quite well, and now I've just got a very complicated looking grid. Oh dear, I'm sorry if you can see it. Well done. I'm not seeing it yet. So in terms of the Schrödinger cells, I've used 10 and 11, and I've used 17, and I've used one version of 15. Okay, but the Schrödinger cell that is 16 is going to be a 7-9 pair, so it's not that one, and it's not this one, and it's not this one. So doesn't it have to be that one? Or is that wrong? I'm not confident about that, but that just feels right to me. Let's think about that. So because obviously this can't be 16, because it would be adding up to this, which would then be far too big. In fact, that can't be 16 anyway, because it has a 9 looking at it. So which one of the green cells is 16? It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. So it is this. That is 7. That is a 7-9 pair. And then, but then we don't know what this is. We know it's at least 2 less. I think that's all we know. So this is 14, 13, or 12. Now, can we get rid of any of those options? 14, 13, or 12? It's quite difficult for it to be 13. It would have to be a 5-8 pair. But do I get anything from this containing 7? Ah, I get rid of a 7 there. Oh, maybe. I haven't thought about this line down here, which looks like it's got the same geometry as that line. In fact, does it have to have 0 and 1 on it? Ah, yeah, look. By Sudoku, it's got 0 and 1 on it. So it's 0, 1, 2. It must be. It's a Renban. Oh, I'm sorry, that's been sitting there for ages. Okay, so this is 0, 1, that's 2. Okay, so that's not 2, so that's not 3. Maverick's about to fly over. Is that helpful at all or not? Gosh, it's remarkably not helpful, actually. It's not really done anything. So, okay, so the rest of this row, what can we say about it? It's 3, 5, 6, is it? Into these squares. And that's so rotten. That's so rotten. It doesn't. We don't know. There's okay. Where's 7? I do get a 7 in the corner. So 7 is one of the most productive digits we've found, isn't it? And then that digit, whatever that happens to be, is going to be that digit. So that's a 3, 5, or an 8. 9 in this box is placed exactly there by this having a 9 in it. So now 9 is in one of those cells. I think that's always been the case. And this digit in the corner is 3, 5, or 6. No, it's 3 or 5, because the 6 in the triple in row 8 is definitely on the left-hand side. So that's 3 or 5. And that just forms part of a 3, 5, 8 triple. So that's not useful either. Good grief. Okay. Right. So 2 is in one of those squares. That feels... can I put 2 in a Schrödinger cell anymore? I used to be able to put it in with 8 or 9 to add up to 10 or 11, but I know this one doesn't add up to 10 or 11, so I feel if I put the 2 in there, it won't work. So the 2, I think, has to be here. That's true. So that means this isn't 2, which is one of the least... Oh, that's a rotten... I mean, if I could work out what this was... that can't be 3. That is a valid point, because I'd be adding 3 to at least 2. That's 5. 16 minus 5 is 11, and I know this can't be an 11, so this is low. I've got a 0, 1 pair. So... I don't know what that means, but that feels moderately exciting. Oh, come on, what does that mean? Oh, I see. I can improve upon my red squaredness now. That is no longer a red square, because I can see how this goes. So that I've done the earlier loop. I now know exactly where it lives. I know all its little features and foibles. What I'm trying to resist, but I fear we may have to do it, is pencil marking fully the remaining red squares. So, for example, which one of them? Oh, I'm not sure actually. I was trying to see if there was a digit that was obviously going to be... I've got the 2 and the 4 in it already. I've got the 7 in it. No. Okay, maybe that's not how to do it. Where is the 9 in it? I think there are still a couple of options. Bother. Okay. So how should we do this then? I don't know, is the honest answer. Do we know? Wow. Golly, I mean, I don't even know where to look here. If that was a 1, does that do anything to these digits? This is 16. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. This is probably very obvious to some of you. I'm unsure where the best place is for me to look. I don't think we're far away though, because I do think that if we get 1 or 2 more deductions, it oughtn't to be that difficult to finish it, because there is quite a lot of pressure in the grid now. There's a 9 in one of those, most probably in the Schrödinger cell. No, there isn't an 8 in one of these, because we don't know what this is. So maybe I've got to look at this column, where I've still got the Schrödinger cell to place. So it's 3, 5, 7, 8, isn't it, into these squares? That's quite interesting, actually. I can't put a 3 here, because if I put the 3 here, it would never add up to enough. So this is either 12. 12 would work very nicely. Yeah, here we go. This is it. Right, this square is not a 15, because to be a 15 it would be the same as that Schrödinger cell. So there is a 5 in that square, and that means that's not 5, it means this is now a 3. And that's... So now this can't... Oh no, I was about to say that can't be 5. That's not true at all. That's not true at all because that's Schrödinger. But that's not 3 anymore. So this is either a 12 or a 13. Okay, but that's no... Oh! Well, that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right, look at this. This is now a 0. Oh, that did something. Okay, and this must be a 1. And that must be a 3. So there's a 1 up here. Which feels like it's probably doing something. What do we need in this column? We only need little digits, because we've got 7, 8 pair and a 5, 6 pair. So it's a 0, 1, 4 up here. That's not 4. So that's 0 or 1. Surely that's useful. Is it? Oh, well that's different to that. So it's the same as that. No. Yeah, okay, now it's getting even more complicated. Right. But this is a 0, 1 pair, so that is a 4. Oh. But I mustn't... These are different digits, because they're both on the... They're both on the Renban. I feel so. Hang on. Doesn't that mean that? Yeah. Look. This is lovely. Right. Because these are both on the Renban. They are a 0, 1 pair, and they're both looking at this square. So that must be a 2. That's so clever. Now there's no 2 on here. So this is not 2, 3. This is 0, 5, and that is a 1, and that is a 0, and therefore that is a 1 to be different, and this is a 1 to be something. And now I've got to get... Now the difference is 4. So this adds up to 12 and is not 5, 8. So it's 5, 7. So I take the 8 out and then I put the 8 in there. That's how that seems to work from a mathematical perspective. Wow. Okay. So now what do we do? Can we finish it from here? I'm more hopeful than I've been in quite some time, let me tell you. I've got... Well, how do we do it? I don't know. I probably am going to have to... Okay, look, I've got a 5, 8 pair here. So I do, in theory, know these digits, don't I? They are 3, 6, and 9. Now what can I get? I can get rid of 3 from there, because I've already had 3 in a red square. So it's a 6 or 9. That seems to be a 0 by Sudoku. That feels right, doesn't it, I think? Now, okay. There's a 9 in that square, so that's not a 9. That's not a 9 by the same logic. So in this row, we've not placed 3s, 6s, and 8s. So we may as well pencil mark that in case it yields anything. It does. That's a 6. So that's a 3. So this is an 8. It's not clearing fog, but I think that's probably because we've done the fog in this neck of the woods. This is a 2, 7 pair by Sudoku. So those two squares, but they include the Schrödinger, a 3, 5, and 8. No, they're not 3, 5, and 8. They're 3, 5, and 9, Simon. Be careful. But there's a 5 in the Schrödinger here. Now, this... Okay, well, hang on. We can't put 3, can we, anymore? In Schrödinger cells, because it won't ever add up to enough now, especially not now 12 has gone. So this is a 5, 9 pair, and that is a 3. So there's not going to be a second 3 in the corner. but this is a 14 now. So we've had 16, 14, 12. So we haven't had 13 and 15. But we know that the 15 is 6, 9. So one of these is 6, 9. Oh, and it can't be that one because that would break that square. So I think that's got to be 6, 9. Is there a reason that can't be 6, 9? I don't think so. I think that's 6, 9. And this adds up to 13. And it's not 6, 7. So it's either 4, 9 or 5, 8. Well, I've got a 5 pencil marked here. So if that's true, I think this is 4, 9. And if that's 4, 9, then that's a 6 in the middle of the grid. So we go 6, 9, 6, 5. Therefore, that can't be a 5 because it would repeat in red. In fact, we can't repeat 5 in red. So that's 8. And let's just take a quick check. We've had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, we haven't had 6 yet, so we've got 6. We have had 7, and we have had 8. So this is 6 or 9, but it's in the same column as a 9. So this is 6. That's that did clear fog. That's 9. That's 6. This is a ludicrous puzzle. 0. Where is it? Oh, look, yeah, 0. 0, 1. But that means this is 0 because I've got zeros already in those squares. So that's 0, that's 5, that's 5, that's 0. That cleared more fog. That's always good to see. 0, 1. 1 by Sudoku. 3 and 8 must be resolved, isn't it? Yeah, because there is an 8 in that one. 8, 3. So now it seems that 3 has to go there. 8 has to go here. 5 must go here. And I think we might just... That's got 7 in it, so that's 7 and that's 2. So that's 2. That cleared the fog. Wow. Wow. And I think we're getting it done. All right, 3, 5. That's probably famous last words, isn't it? I need to put a 6 in this column, but it's not clashing, which is absolutely brilliant. Now we've got 4 and 8 to place. So 8 goes in the corner, 4 goes here, and if we haven't made a ricket, that looks like it's a 3 to me. That is a sensationally good puzzle. Let me just have a think. Do we feel confident that that is right? Moderately. Let's see. Yes. 32 people have solved it. That's brilliant. It's another really long video. I am sorry about that. I mean, yesterday was a long video. This is another long video. I forgot to check before I started the camera how hard this was. I'm going to claim it was quite hard. I think it was quite hard, actually. To get a handle on the purple thingy was very difficult for me, at least. I could see ideas that were sort of shouting out, but actually proving that they were correct was really difficult. But it's a magnificent puzzle, that. It is a magnificent puzzle. First class. Again, we are in the purple patch of Sudoku. Let me know in the comments how you got on. Darth Paradox, take a bow. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.